we're gonna make vampire dip. It's supposed to ward vampires away.
Would it be called anti-vampire dip then?
Ooh, boy! Just got this in the mail. I'm very excited about this. Very excited. It is from a brand called 2O Cutlery. Comes in this nice gold packaging. First thing I see is a nice wooden handle. Get in there. Ooh, it's got some heft to it. I'll take that right off of there. It's got these little plastic things to keep it from getting dinged or cutting anything. I think I want to keep it in this, right? Look at that. Oh, it's got some great weight to it. Nice solid wood handle. I like that the blade is kind of, some blades will just go straight like that, but it curves up. So kind of protect your hand a little bit. Fantastic. It's supposed to be, this is a Japanese vegetable knife, is the shape of the knife. Pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited about it. What are we gonna make? Wait, we should do like the intro, because we know what it's called now. Welcome to Cooking in Quarantine with Nieblas. That's me. Cooking in quarantine, cooking in quarantine. So today we're making this vampire dip. It's called vampire dip. Slater's 50/50 has they inspired this dish. It's basically just garlic and cheese baked in an oven, and then you dip stuff in it. It's just so good. We're gonna make that mainly because my wife made some sourdough, this gorgeous, gorgeous sourdough loaf that I'm gonna cut out, make it into a bowl, and then fill it with the vampire dip. So, yeah. Let's get our ingredients. Parmesan, mayonnaise, cream cheese, provolone cheese, mozzarella cheese, artichoke hearts, salt, pepper, garlic. First things first, ratios. I think we're gonna basically use this whole thing, this whole thing, this whole thing, that whole thing. This is really easy because we're just gonna mix a whole bunch of stuff in a bowl and then put it into that bowl and then bake it. Boy, oh boy, do I love a big bowl. I like big bowls, and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny it. Listen, when you add a big bowl, you got a lot of area to work with, you can get your spoon in there really good. You want that area to work in. Ooh, where is my spatula? First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna chop up the provolone cheese. I'm wondering if maybe I should do this in the food processor. We'll cut shreds here, we'll cut shreds there, and then we'll whip it all together and see how it looks with just the cheeses, see how that comes together, and then we'll go from there. Figuring stuff out as we go, people. So I wanna kinda do really, almost like it's shredded, but these are slices. So if you just kinda start doing this action. Ooh, look at that knife cut. This knife's got some heft to it. It takes some getting used to though, because that's a big blade. Not used to something so hefty. You did beautifully. Thank you. Pop all that cheese in there. Those are all kind of break up once we start mixing it all up and whatnot. So see, even though it kind of pushed it all together, it's still got the string kind of consistency there. What else? Parmesan. That's loose. It's loosey-goosey. We're just gonna put the whole thing in. I think it's about equal parts. I think we're going equal parts Parmesan to provolone. And then let's go with this mozzarella. Open here. This is nice, fresh mozzarella. Oh, you know what we can do? Since this is all trash, makeshift trash can. Boom. Mozzarella cheese. So each of these cheeses, they're all gonna provide a different texture. The mozzarella's got that real ooey gooey stretchiness. Parmesan is actually a little bit harder, but when it mixes with them, it gives it even more of a kind of a staying power. You know, it's not as watery as just a straight mozzarella would be. And then the provolone also has a really nice meltiness to it. There's also a little bit of smokiness to the provolone, which is gonna enhance the flavor. All right, that's in there too. We're not worried about how pretty each of these cheeses look because we're all, like I said, it's just gonna get all mixed up. Probably gonna have too much for that bread bowl, which is a good problem to have. And then basically a fistful of garlic, a full-on fistful. This is a lot of garlic. You know what we should do is food processor. Should have done food process from the beginning.
I thought it was down there.
Whew. Lock it in. Grab our garlic. Drop it in. Plug it in. Plug it in. It's a little weird looking one. Toss that away. And we got to ask ourselves, is that enough garlic? If you have the option to add more garlic, I mean, just do it. Okay. Woo! That is a good amount of garlic. Now we're just gonna toss all that in there. Whole thing. Why not? That's what I like to think about when I'm cooking. Why not? I'm gonna add that cream cheese. It's been sitting here for a minute. It doesn't need to be like room temperature or anything, but the warmer it is, the easier it is to work with. Into our trash Ziploc bag. The cream cheese, most people are gonna be okay with. People balk at the mayo. If you're not a mayo person, then you're very much not a mayo person. All you gotta think of is mayo is eggs and oil. It's going to provide a little bit of a bonding agent between the cheeses and everything. In food, there's all these bridges of textures and stuff. You have something that's hard, something that's soft, and something in between that kind of bridges that gap to those textures and whatnot. Ugh. It's gonna be a little pain in the butt right now. I could have used a stand mixer, honestly. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. We are going to use the stand mixer because we can. Use the paddle attachment.
It's like an ice water kind of knife.
Okay. You mind if we do a cooking show? So I'm gonna put the cheese mix in the stand mixer, and then I'm gonna add the rest of our ingredients just so it can get all nice and incorporated. The food processor will get it pretty close to like liquefied. Liquefied. Artichoke hearts, delicious. I'm gonna chop these up a little bit, but I'm gonna pour out that juice. Let's get this going. Start it low. Let's start it low. Start it low. The rest of this jar of mayo. You can make this in a smaller batch. You won't need as much mayo. You won't need as much cheese. I just got this thing filthy. Nice. Okay, so now it's all incorporated. I'm gonna chop up these artichoke hearts just a little bit more. Just kind of slice them. You don't want just like one big old chunk. You want kind of bite-sized pieces. And then we'll incorporate that. That was really good. We actually only needed to do that just a tiny, tiny bit. Did what we needed it to do. And now we can take it and just do the rest by hand. Stand mixer, thank you. Job well done. Good amount. Incorporate the pepper. Mix it in. What else do we want to add? We want to think about things we want to add to this. If there's any greens or anything like that we want to add. Do we have any like chives? There we go. Red bell pepper. Nice. That'll give us some nice color. That's going to be lovely. I'm going to go 2 of them. A whole bell pepper? Maybe a half. Probably a half a bell pepper would be fine. It'd be fine. Let's start with the bell pepper. The bell pepper, what I like to do is just slice like 4 sides. And then you'll cut those into strips and do with them what you want. Oven is preheated. Go there, boom, boom. Got a little leftover. There's a little bit there if you want it to. We're probably not even gonna use all of this, but we'll see what we do. I'm just gonna chop it all up. I'm gonna do a dice. So I'm gonna julienne first. If you're a beginner at cutting and chopping in the kitchen, you don't have to be all fancy and try and stack them up. Just take your time. Go at your own pace. Don't be a rock star. You don't have to go all like, you don't have to do all that. You ain't got a lot to kick it. That's what I'm trying to say. Now that we got those all like that, I'm gonna chop really small. It's gonna add some flavor, but it's also gonna add some color. That's something that a lot of home cooks don't think about often, is the color of their dishes. When you have a plate that's mashed potatoes and chicken and rice, that's all one color. You should have a nice and colorful plate, you know, green, yellow, orange, red, all that good stuff. If you have a monochrome colored plate that isn't just green, then you should be considering eating some other stuff, man. Expand your horizons. Put like all of this in there, just kind of see what it looks like. Yeah, let's do that. Set that up over to the side. I'll go with the green onion. I like to chop off just the end there, but I just like to do it for the sake of prettiness. Let's chop off these ends. And then, do I want bigger pieces, smaller pieces? I don't know what I want. Probably about the same size as the bell pepper. Small pieces. These are kind of big, so let's cut them in half first. This one too. Bam. That way. They'll kind of break up more when you mix them if you do that. Oh, you know what? We don't have any shallot. Shallot would have set this off. Pretty much you could add shallot to anything, actually. It's a nice kind of in-between onion and garlic flavor, nice aromatic. I'm just finishing up the scallion, or the green onion as it's called, whatever does ya. I'm gonna do all this because I love green onion. Just put all that in there. Wonderful. Gorgeous. We haven't added any salt. What I'd like to do, because we got a lot of cheeses and kind of salty stuff in here, I want to taste it first, and then we can see if it needs some salt. Probably will need a little bit of salt. Now, the best way to taste this, we're going to some Kimberly Nieblas homemade bread that was cut earlier today. I'm gonna take a little scoop of this, just kind of put it, oh boy, oh boy. We're just gonna try it on the bread and see how it goes. Okay. Yep, that is something else, man. When that is gonna bake and all ooey gooey. Little salt, a little bit of salt. Is that it? Now we put it into our bread bowl. Kind of reminds me, you could put some like crab in there. Whoa.
Wow. That's
Now
a lot
let's.
of garlic.
The raw garlic is like spicier. That'll mellow out once it's baked. Let's cut this thing into a bowl. Bread knife. Gorgeous. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. We're rustic here. And then I'm gonna take the knife, I'm gonna cut in just until it kind of gets some resistance at the bottom. And then I'm gonna start pulling out this bread. And then save this bread because we're gonna cut that up and use that for dipping.
Are we gonna use the top too, or is the top gonna be like a lid?
Yeah, we're gonna use the top for dipping too. Now, probably should have done is taller. This is pretty shallow. That's okay though. That actually will probably help it bake a little bit better. But we can do a second dish that's just in a normal baking dish for the rest of the filling if we have more. So we got that. We'll put our bread to the side and we're gonna fill that bad boy up. Whoop! Really shove it in the corners there. When this melts and gets all gooey, it's gonna soak into that bread. Oh boy. Get in there. There's that, looking gorgeous. Just for some color, I wanna add a little parsley flake on the top. You know, why not? And a little bit more cracked black pepper. And then put it on a tray and into the oven. 45 minutes. Boom.
45 minutes.
We can cut up the bread in the meantime.
All right.
And then we'll be back in 45 minutes. And we are back. Let's take a look. Oh boy. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Still hot. We're gonna transfer it over to this plate. Boom, yeah. Skills. And then we got all this nice homemade sourdough bread. We could toast these, but they're gonna be great either way. I'm thinking about the presentation, you know? Something like that, maybe. Have fun with it. Do we wanna get a dip in there? Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh boy. All right. It's the cheese just keeps going. The string just keeps going. It just keeps going. Get on there. Okay. Wow. Boy, oh boy. With the fresh sourdough. I can't wait to eat this whole thing and then just start munching on this bread bowl. You know what I mean? Boy, oh boy, this is delicious. My name is Nicholas Nieblas. Thanks for tuning in to Cooking in Quarantine. Like and subscribe. Tune in. Do all those things. Thank you. Thank you. Dinner!